Good afternoon, Mick Gunter with Daggett Shuler in North Carolina. We have 11 attorneys practice workers' compensation, Social Security, and personal injury, chief operating officer and general manager. So we're a small firm. Um, so sometimes I get to wear a lot of hats, but primarily focused on the operations and application of technology.
Do you
Teaching people what waste means without it being insulting is sometimes an analogy I use, and it's a very harmless word in the lean world, but you got to coach people into that. Client intelligence part, people are having a bad time, and when people are in that bad spot in their life, um, you know, people are proud. People don't want to wear their problems on their sleeve necessarily, and they're not as open or comfortable talking about their situation. And what we've been diving into lately is how do we, thinking of client intelligence, is how do we build that relationship with the client so that they will share information with us that helps advance their case. I think one of the ways I learned that was talking to attorneys and paralegals, and the number of times that thing came up of they learned something late in the case or at the conclusion of the case, even like if I would have known that earlier, we could have gotten a better outcome, or we could have done a better job. So that's a lot of how we're thinking about client intelligence right now, is stacking on top of the relationship and satisfaction to dig in and gather information that we might not otherwise be able to have without that deep relationship. The thing that jumps off to me is that if I thought back, so we've been on Litify for 4 years, case status for 4 years. The firm had a client portal before then, but the focus was really on the mantra was, one of the worst things about law firms is they don't return client phone calls. So we're going to return client phone calls. And I think the why now on customer or client experience is that over the last 4 years, we've shifted from, we don't even think about, are we communicating timely with clients anymore? That's table stakes. Now we're really honing in and training our staff and training our clients with the tools that we have to enhance that experience, which is now driving, they said, that intelligence piece. So you got to get started to get down the road, because it's not a light switch, it's a journey. It seems small, but it's been big for us. Some of the features that case status has brought out, the suggested responses took our entry level folks and made them average immediately, versus staring at a question like, I don't know how to answer this. Some of the things Sean was talking about in terms of being able to split off work, those suggested responses have given us the opportunity to do the same thing Sean's talking about. Is we now have, basically some, inbound and outbound queuing that allow for faster responses to questions, while allowing our most skilled paralegals to do the most skilled paralegal work. And we couldn't do that without the AI tools that are learning what the Daggett Shuler responses are. The urgency and the categories. We're able to use those and just click on the summary, relationship summary in case status, and pretty much anybody can look at this and say, "Oh, I understand." You kind of get that situational awareness. There's a little aviation thing for you.
Yeah, love
Is
it.
you kind of getting a very quick situational awareness of what's going on with the client. How do I get in their shoes real quick and know how to respond? We've seen calls go down as well, and we had a portal before case status, so internal adoption, it was kind of a must-have. But we created some storms over the time, in terms of, we tried something where if we hadn't communicated with the client over a certain period of time, we used some automation to send messages out, and that was generating phone calls. And it generated, we got overwhelmed. We also had an issue where we didn't set expectations, and we're referring to case status messages. It's on your phone, it's on your mobile device. Sometimes they're not using the app, they're using text. And we would get this sort of, you left my text unread anxiety over, this is a text dialogue, I expect instant communication. And we sort of, I don't know, I think we wrung our hands a little bit too much over setting expectations. And we basically just said, hey, we're a law firm, these are our business hours. if you don't hear back from us, you're not going to hear from us overnight. We put good polish on that to make it a good positive message on timeline expectations. And that was extremely well received. And the number of case status messages went down. And I think it's interesting because I go in and check it periodically. The number of time the clients log into the app and don't send a message continues to be fascinating. You know, they go in and they look at their status, or they go in and they read one of our messages and they don't send a new message. That continues to be fascinating. There's some sort of security blanket or affirmation that they're getting their anxiety addressed simply by being able to go look in the app and see what's there.
Yeah,
I would say absolutely. We don't view case status as a cost. We view it as an integrated part of our, of how we work and how we work with our clients. And it is far more a dividend paying investment than, the telephone or even email.
Yeah.